All right, good evening, race fans, and welcome to another race here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. Tonight, from the Trinity Racing League, we are overseas, we are international out here tonight as we have these drivers set to take on the challenges of the Red Bull Ring. Here, Austria got 29 drivers out on the track right now as drivers making their closing laps in opening practice. Out here currently Isaac Shelley at the top of the board, Jarrett Talmadge in second, Thomas Green in third. My name is Tom Richter. I'm going to be hanging out with you guys for the next hour and a half here on a Monday night. Usually joining me on a Monday night, my co-host Arie Heinzman, unable to join us tonight. A party with us out here, and we're going to be getting familiar with this difficult road course drivers going to have. We'll take a quick look at the track map for those that may be unfamiliar with Red Bull Ring. Start finish line down there on the bottom of the track. Pit road right next to it. Going to have a hard right-hander, 90-degree turn down the long straightaway, turn 2, turn 3. Going to bring us in between 4, 5, and then we're going to go into a pink that kind of resembles something out Circuit of the America 5 through 7 there. And from there it's all right-hander, fine, start, finish. Once again, Jarrett Talmadge currently out on track in P27. Jarrett Talmadge, the points leader coming into tonight's race, second on the timing charts. Gets set to go racing out here tonight. Just about under a quarter of a tenth of a second behind pace setter right now, Isaac Shelley. Race is scheduled for 50 laps out here tonight. 50 laps, no stage cautions, but drivers do have a challenge of a drive-through if they do accrue 15 incident points. I was talking with race control earlier tonight, and he said, you know what, that might have been a little aggressive there on the 15 incidents before we see a drive-through. So we'll see if we see any penalties out here tonight, as it is easy to catch an off-track by putting tires on grass or off the surface. But Jarrett Talmadge, our points leader, we're riding on board with him at the start-finish line. 3 races into the season so far, 3 different winners. Do we go 4 for 4 out here tonight? Jarrett Talmadge picked up the victory at Kansas 2 weeks ago, out in the heartland of America. Got a little bit under a minute remaining out here in opening practice. If you're checking into YouTube, let me know who you're rooting for. You know who you want to see do well out here tonight. Who you want to see find the checkered flag and the night is said and done out here. Christopher Norris going to bring that 38 Ford Mustang down to a close as other drivers finishing up the last 20 seconds of their practice run. Thomas comes in here, currently 3rd on timing in that Chevy Camaro. Thomas Green comes in here tonight with, he comes in here 10th in points, but not a single top 5, not a single top 10. The highest running driver in the point to not have columns checked off just yet. Tonight be the night for the 3. Against top 5 or a top 10, maybe even a little by the time it's said and done. But closing seconds here, Ryan Kelly. Chevy Camaro is the flagman. Send us on our way. Driver's going to be given a 10-minute qualifying out here tonight, with extra time for drivers to make their 2 laps around here. Got to be careful on your qualifying efforts because put a tire off. That going to disallow your lap. Will be invalidated and you'll have to try again on lap number 2, but Josh Canada, one of the first drivers to roll off a pit road. Not familiar with 6th. Going to make his way out of pit road and come down this long straightaway here. We're going to see a little bit of a left and a little bit of a right-hander before we go down into turn number 3, which is going to be a passing zone for tonight's event. You got to be careful here not to overshoot this. You can hear Josh just playing with the throttle right now as he gets up to speed through the short chute in between turns 3 and 4. Another right-hander going to be coming up at the end of this straightaway. Underneath Roush Bridge. Take that right-hand turn. And now this is where it gets interesting. This little section in here, this is going to be the section that I think a lot of drivers may find trouble in tonight, or at least I would. You come into a left-hander, and then they're going to go down into like this kind of little sweeping area here where passing will be an option, but have real consequences if it goes wrong. Making way out of turn number 6. Another little short chute here. And finally take the right-hander with pit lane on the right side of the vehicle. See the start-finish line for a lap around Red Bull Ring. Other drivers out on track right now: Isaac Shelley, Cedric Hunter, Sam Garcia, Clint Cox, Ryan Bird, Ollie Fonseca. A bunch of drivers taken to track right now as Josh Kanata is going to come up to speed for first time here tonight. Let's see where put that number. Take a look at Isaac Shelley here real quick. Isaac was fastest in practice. All eyes on the 98 up front in practice by about a quarter of a second. To back it up, he's going to wheel hop there. But continue on without issue. Isaac Shelley going to abandon his qualifying lap right there, so that's interesting. May have received an off track at some point, so we're going to take a look at Cedric Hunter. Cedric's been fast throughout the season so far. Cedric comes in to tonight's race 17th in points, up 12 positions last week's race at Indianapolis. He was a contender. Indianapolis, very similar in terms of driving, in terms of how you have to attack the corners. Very similar. Flat, bang corner. If he's able to take any of the information that we learned from the Brickyard last week, Cedric Hunter still looking to beat his first lap. 2 times currently on the board: Ollie Fonseca, Joshua Kanata. Times starting to come across the board as drivers complete their first time lap. Scott Richter, Josh Stovall, Dakota Moon, and Thomas Green has made his way tentatively to the top of the speed charts here. In the 10-minute qualifying, those drivers have about 6 minutes remaining before we see their warm-up out here tonight. Thomas Green, first lap done, fastest so far. Will follow his second lap. Down into turn number, I want to say that's number 4. We're going to learn this track here together. I have not seen this track before, so we may call turn 1 turn 3 or turn 3 turn 5 sometimes tonight, but it's all the same. We're all having a good time here on Monday night from the Trinity race. Thomas Green going to swing that Chevy Camaro wide, turns 5 and 6. Find if Isaac Shelley is back out on track. Yes, Isaac Shelley is back out on track, and it's one driver that I want to keep a particular eye on in this qualifying session, because you do not want to be starting towards the back of the field on a road schedule. There are no yellow flags at all throughout the course of tonight's event, but drivers do keep in mind that a in-race penalty drive-through. New names at the top of the board: Chris Stitz, second. He's going to push Ollie Fonseca down to third. Ryan Kelly slots in for fourth. Ryan Bird sit fifth. run right now. Most of these drivers currently working their second lap. Nolan Hicks currently working on his second lap. 7th was his first time. Noah Steele in the number 8 Chevy Camaro. That's a complete second lap. First time by for Noah was good enough for 10th. Take a look and see where Isaac is to go. Once he does get to the start-finish line here, around one more set of kills. All right, so it's going to be good enough for 3rd for Isaac Shelley out here. We're going to jump on over to Justin Campbell in the number 2 and see what Justin is able to do. First time by was good enough for 13th. Campbell. 5 through 6 right here and come through the little kink. Got to be careful not to put the left side tires off track. Graham Walker also out on track. First time by for the driver, the number 18, was 16th. Jarrett Talmadge, our points leader, coming into tonight's race. Also out on an active track right now, has not posted qualifying time and it looks like just second lap as well. Jarrett Talmadge. This is one of the drivers that I think a lot of people are going to be keeping an eye on out here tonight. Jared comes in here already with a win on the season. Picked up a win at Kansas a couple of weeks ago in the Mean Machine. Now it looks like he's already completed his first lap here, so I'm thinking he had an issue on his first lap. Putting all the marbles in the bag for lap number 2. But currently 29 for Jarrett. Not where he wants to be at the end of qualifying here. Long straightaway down into turn number 9 before we see turn number 10. Jarrett Talmadge come across the start-finish line. Let's see where Jarrett is good enough to go to. All right, pole position. Hold on, Brandon Gass. Jarrett Talmadge just moved you off the pole position out here, and that's going to do it for qualifying here. Drivers do have about 90 seconds remaining in the qualifying session, but Jarrett Talmadge currently the pole sitter over Brandon Gass. No other cars out on track right now. That starting lineup right there is going to be how the field is set for tonight's race. Hey, while we got a minute or two here, we're going to take a second. We're going to do the pre-race ceremonies, and we will be back for the warm-up session here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. All right, warm-up underway out here tonight. Got 5 minutes, a little bit under that, but I got the pole sitter out here tonight, the Blazing Fast TV pole sitter out here, and that is Jared. Jared, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Well, you already got a win on the season. So far, we're 3 for 3 on winners out here tonight. What do you think about your opportunities to maybe break that streak and find the first repeat winner here?
Probably not too good.
I think you and I would share the same sentiment out here. So we come out to Red Bull Ring, maybe not a road course that people are really familiar with. I know I'm certainly not. But what kind of issues are you having in terms of learning this track? Is this the first time you're seeing this track? Have you ever raced this track before?
I mean, I've raced this track plenty of times playing the F1 games throughout the year. I've done a couple league races on it on iRacing too, so I'm pretty familiar with it, and where you can gain time, where you can lose time. So not too much to learn and not too much to feel out. Just got to go out there and hit the braking zones and hope you make the turn.
I hope you make the turns. There's a couple of really tight right-handers up here. Any opportunities for a passing zone, or maybe areas that you specifically aren't going to be looking to make?
Well, I mean, I feel like honestly every turn's probably a passing zone here, just because they're so heavy braking. You can always outbrake the guy in front of you, or always outbrake yourself too. So everywhere probably be a passing zone. Specifically, I mean, obviously the two big straightaways, or I guess three big braking zones after the straightaways, probably be the three areas that people are looking to make passes. And there's probably not much defending you can do if somebody does send it down the inside, because if you do a defensive line and then they don't, you just lose more time, and they probably get you on exit anyways. So I do think there will be passing. It'll be tough, but it'll be fun at the same time. So I mean, we'll have to see.
All right, Jared. Well, best of luck out here tonight. Going to let you go take the next 2.5 minutes in the warm-up, and maybe we'll get to talk to you after the.
Hopefully. Thank you.
All right, Jared. Back up to probably the wrong channel there, but we got Jared. Here's a couple of cars out on track right now, taking advantage of the short 5-minute warm-up that drivers are given out here from the Trinity Racing League. You can see the marbles on the track from drivers kicking it up through the sand on the corner exit there. That's recently implemented into iRacing. You can put debris on the track, whether it's grass or dirt or gravel, anything that will go up onto the track. Affect the handling of the race cars, but Isaac Shelley going to come down onto pit road, going to take a pit road entry attempt here, and we got to go a long ways down before we find the speed cones down here, and hear the alarms going off in the background. Other drivers that's been fast throughout the course of the season, Arie Fonseca in the number 24 Chevy Camaro was a contender last week at Indianapolis. Arie looking to improve on his place finish last week at Indianapolis, and we'll see how he's able to do tonight. Cedric Hunter also out on track. Scott Richter, Josh Sawyer, Ryan Bird, Josh Stovall, one of the drivers looking to pick up his first win out here tonight. Race winners on the season so far. Chris Stitz picked up the win at Echo Park Speedway in the season opener a couple of weeks ago in early January. Garrett, that we just spoke to out here, starting from the pole, got the win at Kansas, and of course last week kissed the bricks at the Brickyard. Driver's got about 30 seconds remaining out here in warm-up session, so before we get started out here tonight, I want to give a shout out to the pole sitter sponsor out here, and that is Blazing Fast TV. If you're looking for a chill, relaxed stream, head on over to Blazing Fast TV on Twitch and YouTube. Follow Dakota Moniz's point of view as he races. Follow along, subscribe to stay up to date when he goes live and posts content. Dakota's out on track, or Dakota's not out on track. He is at the track, and tonight's race will be following all evening long out here tonight. Graham Walker going to send that Toyota Supra for a ride down there in turn number 10, and that's going to bring us to the lineup for tonight's race as we get set. Go racing Out here tonight for 50 laps from Red Bull Ring. Drivers beginning to line up behind the iRacing.com pace car. And we'll take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's event. Jarrett Tomich going to be rolling off from the pole position. He's got Brandon Gass to his outside. Thomas Green and Chris Stitz make up row number 2. Isaac Shelley rounds out the top 5 with Ali Fonseca in row number 3. The top 10 is rounded out by Ryan Kelly and Ryan Bird, Christopher Norris and Cody Reed in the top 10. 11th place belongs to Clint Cox and is going to have Nolan Hicks starting in 12th. Josh Kanata in the 16, starting 13th out here tonight with Justin Campbell. Row number 7, Scott Rickard and Noah Steele. Up row number 8. Top 20 is Aaron Kralik and Graham Walker, Sam Garcia, and Cedric Hunter. Our field of 29 drivers out here tonight is rounded out by Nick Renner starting 21st. Josh Stovall rolling off from 22nd out here tonight. Mike Miller in the 99 going to be rolling 23rd out here tonight. From Wide Open Throttle Racing, Stephen Clapp going to start 24th out here tonight. We got Thomas Walter starting 25th. Dakota Moniz, the pole sponsor, out here starting 26th. Mark Labertone, Josh Sawyer, and Chris Stamper rounds out our field of 29 drivers. Send us on our way for the start of tonight's race. And you can see the elevation changes. They brought out the Porsche out here tonight. Got some big bucks here. The only time we're going to see the pace car as no caution flags, as stated before, no caution flags in tonight's event. Again, drivers do need to be mindful of incidents because they can get a drive-through penalty, which be probably about a 40-second penalty, start to finish off of. Pace car is going to put it in gear for the first time here tonight and bring us down into turn number 1. Tire field going to come through this 2.6-mile route at a pace speed for the one and only time out here tonight. Looking at our upcoming schedule, next week we're going to be here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. We're back in the States next week. We will be back at Michigan International Speedway next week. We're off on February 16th. Driver's taking a well-deserved off. Got Texas Motor Speedway coming up after that, the old Legacy version, which I think is the better version of Texas, before they redid Turn 1. Then finally, the next couple of races rounded out by Homestead Miami Speedway for 160 laps of racing. All upcoming on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network every single Monday night, and we're glad you're here with us. We are getting set to go racing out here this evening. 50 laps for the North Star Digital Austrian Grand Prix. Up front on the front row, you got Jared Tomich and Brandon Gass. He's some fans for Brandon at our YouTube chat. Keep a close eye on Brandon, see how he does out here tonight. Brandon's going to need some help if he wants to make it into the playoffs. He comes into tonight's race 21st. 21st. In the top 5, in the top 10 already recorded on the season for driver number 29. Last week at Indianapolis, he picked up 10 positions. Weeks like those will catch you up for a potential playoff run. We are almost set to go. Coming down, I want to say it's going to be turn number 9 here. At turn number 9, pace car is going to be down and away, and we are underneath the control of Jarrett Tomich and Brandon Gass for the first time out here tonight. Driver's going to wait to get to the restart zone. They're going to see Barney the Flagman for the first time, and we're going to go green flag racing in the North Star Digital Austrian Grand Prix. Green flag is out. Brandon Gass able to take the race lead through turn 1 as they enter into the kingdom. Turn number 2, gonna have a 3-wide situation. Christopher Norris in the middle, got Isaac Shelley on the outside there with Chris Stitz on the left side. They're gonna get skinny by the time they get down into turn number 4. We're now gonna come down into probably the most technical section of this track that we will see all night tonight. 3-wide battle for the race lead. Chris Stitz, Isaac Shelley, Brandon Gass. Brandon Gass gonna back out of it just a little bit. Chris Stitz takes the race lead for a second, but Isaac Shelley not going to give it up just yet. Isaac Shelley able to come out of that corner as the race leader. Still a battle for second place. Christopher Norris and Chris Stitz come down into turn number 5, 6, and 7 for the first time here tonight. Chris Stitz takes a look down onto the inside of the 98, not able to put the numbers there. He's got Christopher Norris now in the preferred position for turn number 8. We'll call that 8 there. Able to take that spot, and Isaac Shelley has opened up about a 2, maybe a 3-car length lead by the time we see turns 9 and 10 to complete our first lap of green flag racing out here this evening. Great battles all over the track. 1 lap done and away. Do it 49 more times. That's what these drivers have to do here this evening. Isaac Shelley going to lead lap number 1. Christopher Norris up 7 positions on the opening lap. Started 9th out here tonight. Good opening lap for the driver, the number 30 Ford Mustang. We got a little bit of a separation now between the top 3. We got to go back to about the 5th place running position before we find the pole sitter Brandon Gass. He lost 3 spots on the opening lap there. He's now up onto the right side of Ollie Fonseca. Ollie's going to get a little loose there on the exit of number 3 and keep that 24 moving in the right direction. But now that puts an opportunity for Ryan Kelly in the number 13 to possibly come through. You got the 49 of Ryan Bird as well trying to come through and advance some positions. Out here early in the start of tonight's race on board with Brandon Gass, the pole sitter, out here as they run right now. Hear them going through the gears here as they come through 9 and 10. Really having to be careful not to abuse the tires early in tonight's event. These tires will certainly wear, make it a little bit more prone to sliding on the back end of the run. But up front, Isaac Shelley has been caught by Christopher Norris. That 3-car length lead has shrunk to a 1-car length lead as they race down the long straightaway between turns 1 and 3. Christopher Norris trying to get off center just a little bit here, maybe take a look down into the first braking zone into turn number 3. Going to try the crossover here, and he's going to get a nose to the right rear quarter panel of the 98 of Isaac Shelley. Looks like Isaac's going to be able to clear him by the time they get down into turn number 4. Another long straightaway here. Christopher Norris peeks a look to the driver left by the time we get back down into the next braking zone, but all over the rear bumper of the 98 is Christopher Norris. Chris Stitz is about a second and a half behind this pack right here. Brandon Gass about 2 seconds back off of the race leader. We're following one of the closer battles out on track right now as they run into technical section of 5, 6, and 7. Norris going to climb all the way to the rear bumper of Isaac Shelley. Not able to do anything with it just yet. Isaac Shelley going to lead another lap out here this evening. Seeing a bunch of drivers light up. Unsure if it's for actual issues or for just iRacing saying people are having issues, because road courses are designed on iRacing. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look, see if we can't find Mark Labertone. Mark Labertone was one of the drivers that lit up here. This may just be. He's gonna put the left side tires there in the grass just a little bit. Nick Renner also having an issue early in tonight's race. Take a look at Nick here in the 88 and see what happens. He's going to be on the right side. A little bit of contact there with Josh Sawyer. Position back. They said that was about 24th place between these drivers, but back up front, it's still Isaac Shelley and Christopher Norris. Isaac hasn't been able to pull away just yet. He's got Christopher all over the rear bumper of that Toyota Supra. Christopher Norris probably in maybe the best position that he has been in to try to set himself up for a pass, as he's going to take a look now onto the right side of that 98. They're going to race side by side down the backstretch here into turn number 9. Christopher Norris able to poke that nose of the 38 out in front, but Isaac Shelley says not so fast. Be coming for that position as well. But going to be a lap led for the 38 out here tonight. Give a bonus point to Christopher. While this battle for the race lead starts to settle out a little bit, we're going to start to look for other battles out on track right now. Ryan Bird chasing down the 13 of Ryan Kelly. This is going to be for the 6th place running position. In front of them, you got a group of about 3 cars there. You got Ollie Fonseca, Chris Stitz, Brandon Gass, all up in there. The Polster, Brandon Gass still runs 3rd, but under pressure from Chris Stitz and danger of decision. Out here working lap number 5 of tonight's event, but Ryan Bird tries to take a look down onto the inside of the 13, going to be able to make that pass. That's going to bring us to another close battle here for the 3rd place running position. You got Brandon Gass protecting 3rd place from Ollie Fonseca directly behind him. Chris Stitz all within striking distance. Ryan Bird, now that he's gotten around Ryan Kelly in the 13. Have to see if that 49 becomes a factor here in this battle over the next lap or 2. Something I'm keeping an eye on here. We talked about the incident counts, and we talked about the potential penalties the drivers are going to have to be mindful of. A couple of drivers already kind of flirting with the upper limits of that 15 incident. Already Ryan Bird 10 off tracks, and that could just be simply just putting the tire in the grass or just overshooting just a little bit. But a penalty at 15 every single time, so 33 fives. So keep that in mind, not the way that Ryan Bird wants to start his race, something we'll have to manage. Avoid any penalties. Back here a little bit, you got Thomas Green taking a look on Cody Reed in the 25. This is a pass for the 8th place position. Thomas Green is able to make the pass on the 25. Turns 3 and 4 going to the technical section of turns 5, 6, and 7. But Thomas Green lost a couple of spots early in tonight's race. Started 3rd out here tonight. Currently runs 8th, but looks to get some of those spots back. He's just able to get around Cooper on track position. Up front, it's still Christopher Norris. Christopher Norris has opened up just under a half of a second lead over 2nd place Isaac Shelley as they run right now. Who else we got battling back here? Let's see if we can't find other close battles back here. We've got Scott Richter, Cody Reed still battling with each other. Got Josh Donato directly behind him. Drivers going to come across and complete their 6th lap of flag racing out here tonight. Looks like possible issues for Nolan Hicks. Let's see what happens to Nolan in the 86. Going to overshoot and get some tires in the gravel. No harm, no foul, just a little gravel on the track right there. Drivers going to back to that. without issue, but Christopher Norris still being chased down by Isaac Shelley. Brandon Gass still holding third place, 2.5 seconds off the race leader. Here you can see him in the distance there at Camaro. That's the distance between race leaders of the 38 and the 98. You see the gap start to close here. Christopher Norris was really good in the apexes of the corners where he was able to make the pass on Isaac. Taking a look back here, got some pretty big battles happening back here. You got Clint Cox in front of Nolan Hicks. Nolan Hicks off track a lap ago. Lost the spot or two. Now he sets his sights on Clint Cox in that 0-3, directly in front of him. We approach to complete lap number 7. Out here tonight, Graham Walker directly behind this driver. Got Josh Stovall in this mix as well. Cedric Hunter running back in 19th. A little surprising for Cedric here. Not expect to see Cedric back in 19th, qualified 20th. Not the qualifying effort that Cedric wanted. A driver that is fast week in and week out. Got to be fast on these road. These drivers in the Trinity Racing League, they're also going to see Watkins Glen in the month of May. Versus in the playoffs. Top 16 drivers eligible for the championship. Once we do get out there, but Nolan Hicks still trying to close that gap on Clint Cox, not able to do so just yet. Heading back on over to about the 7th place position here. Thomas Green now under fire from Ryan Kelly, driver that he got around before. Ryan Bird directly behind the Cody Reed directly behind the 13 as we get a little chain of about 3 cars running here. Cody Reed's going to get a little sideways there in turn number 9, get a little wide, but carry on without an issue, get a good turn 10. Set himself up for this long front straightaway here. Up the elevation change into turn number 1. That's about a 3.5 difference. And Thomas Green cars directly in front of this driver as they continue to chase each other down. Christopher Norris has opened up just over a second now between himself and Isaac Shelley for the race lead. Brandon Gass is still staying with him. Last time we spoke about Brandon, he was about 2.5 seconds off the race lead. He is now about 2.3 seconds, so a little bit faster for the 29 last time by. About 0.2 faster than the race leader, so Brandon having a good opening run. Started on the pole out here tonight. Lost a couple of positions on lap number. That can sometimes just happen. Just being in the wrong lane on the restart and not having the preferred position. But Brandon hanging on his own out here tonight, kind of running in his little zone out here tonight. Nobody that he's pressuring for position in front of him, nobody pressuring from behind. And I like this. If I'm Brandon right now, I like the position that I'm in. Give me a little bit of space to run in front, give me a little bit of space to run behind. Let me run laps out here. That's what he's doing so far tonight. No off tracks for the 29 just yet. 0 incidents. Still 4-9 as we compete at number 9 to begin lap number 10. But good looking 29 out here tonight. Brandon needing a good run out here tonight. But up front, it is Christopher Norris. Has not yet found victory lane in the Trinity Racing League here in Season 2. Tonight could be the night for this Ford Mustang. We'll see what Chris is able to do by the end of the next 40 laps. One thing that we don't really know out here tonight is the fuel run. Got to imagine fuel is probably somewhere in the range of 13 to 15 laps, but that's just kind of thinking out loud. But Gotta imagine fuel is probably somewhere in that range. Could be seeing pit stops start to come fairly soon in tonight's race by the time we complete the next couple of laps. Ryan Bird still chasing down the 17 of Chris Stitz. Has lost a little bit of time to the 17. He's got about 0.6 of a second. Have the opportunity to catch him here and go on board here for a half a lap or so with the 49. We're gonna listen to the gear changes and how much throttle he's putting into it and when he's putting throttle. He gets a good run through turn 10 right there. He comes over the curb, doesn't affect the car. Probably a little bit better than Chris Stitz directly in front of him, but Chris is able to get a good run down this long straightaway here. Chris is going to run a little wide on the entry. Going to bring Ryan maybe a car length closer by the time they exit. Come down onto the straightaway. They consider this turn number 2 right here, this little left-hander. And then we're going to see turn number 3. Big right-hander, heavy passing zone, heavy braking, heavy throttle as he tries to put those good gears back to use on this 49. One of our closest battles on track right now is between the 17 and the 49, so we're going to stick right here for the next minute or two, or until we start to see drivers start to make their way down pit road. But Thomas Green also in this battle. Brian Kelly not too far behind this battle as well, maybe about a second behind these drivers. Seconds behind these drivers. Cody Reed got a little bit of distance to him before you find him. He's currently running in the 9th place running order out here this evening. Issues for Thomas Walter. This one looks like it's going to be a crash, so let's jump on over to Thomas here. See what happens to the 57. He's just going to lose it down here, and I want to say that's turn number 9 right there. It's kind of a lazy spin. Hit the good years here and go on board with the 57. Got lucky that there was nobody coming directly behind Josh Sawyer. Mike Miller do a nice job of getting through without additional incident. Thomas Walter, only sort of damage he's going to have there is maybe a set of good. Battle for this position here between Ryan Bird and Chris Stitz starting to heat up a little bit as we come back to this battle. Ryan Bird has closed in just a little bit on the 17. Now Thomas Green has thrown his name in the ring of potential contenders out here. This is battle for place running. Ollie Fonseca directly in front of them, kind of running in his own little land as well, but you got Ryan Bird now up onto the inside of the 17, going to be able to make that pass. Possibly he was able to put that 49 to the side of it, but now comes onto the unpreferred lane. Thomas Green going to take an opportunity to take a look down to the right side of the 49 as we're going to see turns 9 and 10. Thomas Green trying to take a spot away from the 49, and he's going to be able to do so by the time we exit turn number 10. But Thomas Green up to a 6th place running position. Up front, it's still Christopher Norris. He's got about a second lead over Isaac Shelley. Brandon Gass still in 3rd, now about 2 seconds back off of the race leader, Ollie Fonseca. Currently runs 4th. Chris Stitz, this is the battle that we're looking at right now, the battle for 5th place. Some good battles happening down here in this track. Thomas Green going to close up to the back of that number 17, not able to do anything with it just yet. Heading on back up to the race leader. Well, we're now on lap number 13. If my estimations are even relatively close, we may see some full stops here. Next lap or two, we're going to get they elect to come down in the coming laps, but Christopher Norris still leading the way out here, 13 laps in. Thomas Green has been able to pull up side by side and ultimately make the pass on Chris Stutz, give it top 5 running position to the number 3. Chris Stutz back into 6th place. Ryan Bird still sticking with that number 17, and a name that is now in this mix as well is the 13 of Ryan Kelly. Ryan Kelly's has slowly closed in on the back of these drivers in front of him here over the last couple of laps. Last time by, he was actually considerably faster than the drivers in front of him, about 0.4 of a second faster, but some of that may just be drivers coming through these corners side by side and not able to put the power down. So we'll see here if Ryan's able to continue to close this gap to Ryan Bird directly in front of him. Ryan Bird's going to take a look to the right side of Chris Stutz down into turn number 4. Is he going to be able to do anything with it? You see a little bit of tire smoke there, and he's able to make that pass. Uses the curbing there just a tiny bit. But new 6th place runner, Ryan Bird, that's going to move Chris Stutz back to 6th place, but he may soon be running in 7th as now Ryan Kelly on the inside of him. And we're going to take that spot for 7th place away. Or Ryan Kelly moved Chris Stutz back down to 8th place. Down 4 positions from his qualifying effort out here this evening. Started 4th in tonight's event, currently runs 8th as we await the first round of the race leader Christopher Norris starting to work around lap traffic for the first time out here tonight. We got the 53 of Chris Stamper as he's going to make his way around. Now Isaac Shelley does the same. Brandon Gass going to take a look on the 53 down here in turn number possibly. Vehicles. See just how much this track gets spread out here. We've already got the race leader on the left side of the map right there in the number 38. They're going to be working against Mike Miller here in just a lap or two, and then it won't be long before it kind of turns into a conveyor belt. Entire track is filled. Cars, lap traffic. For Clint Cox, highlights in yellow, so let's see if we can't find something maybe with Clint. Last thing I see is this. I think this is probably going to be from earlier in tonight's race. Let's take a look. This is shown from a couple of laps ago. I don't think this is going to be the incident that is relevant to what's on timing right now. He's gonna be fine. Christopher Norris starting to get closed in by the 98 of Isaac Shelley now. Under half of a second between 1st and 2nd place. Brandon Gass starting to close that gap here, as it's now just over 2 seconds from 1st place back to 3rd. Isaac Shelley starting to put the heat on. Christopher Norris taking a look at the last couple of lap times here for these drivers. Last time by Isaac Shelley, just over 3.5 tenths faster. Let's see what it is as they cross the start-finish line. For lap number 15, that time was a half a second faster for the 98 as he slowly closes it on that 38. We may see a battle here for race lead for long. These two drivers. It's been all the 98 and the 38 up front. 15 laps of green flag racing for lap number 16 at the Red Bull. Issues for the race. Chris North. Get another look at that. Issues for the 1st place and 2nd place runners. And take another look here. So Let's take a look here from the nose of the 98. So we're coming down here into, I want here. And into the braking zone. This is what the driver that we spoke to in the pre-race out here tonight was talking about. It's easy to overshoot the corner. But Isaac Shelley going to the brake marker there and make contact with the 38. The 38 going to have issues getting back out on track. He's going to get that Ford Mustang pointed in the right direction. And then once he does, he's going to have Thomas Green, number 3. They're going to make additional ancillary contact. Everybody continues without too much of an issue, but through that battle, Brandon Gass did take the race lead, as Isaac Shelley was, I suppose, probably serving a slowdown, possibly cutting the course. But Brandon Gass has taken the race lead from Isaac Shelley, so Brandon Gass looking to lead his first lap out here tonight. Dakota Moniz may have also had an issue. Let's take a look at the number 5 of Dakota here. Running alone. Gonna get a little sideways in turn number 9. Run a little wide. No damage to that number 5. Keeps moving. But up front it is all Brandon Gass right now by about a half a second over Isaac Shelley. You gotta go back about 4 seconds before you find the third place runner, Arie Fonseca. This has gotta be frustrating here for Isaac. Just spent all that time trying to close the gap on the 38 of Christopher Norris, who is now 6.5 seconds back off the race leader. Makes a mistake in the passing opportunity. Now he finds himself trailing in second place once again. But Brandon Gass sees clean air for the first time out here tonight. He's setting a pretty good pace last time by. 138 race leader. About a minute and 20 seconds faster than I can do. All right, we're going to keep a close eye on this battle for the race lead, but we got more battles starting to heat up back here for about the 9th place running position. Cody Reed's going to get turned, almost get turned. That's about as much getting turned as you possibly can without actually control the car. Down here he's got, is this Ryan Kelly? It was Ryan Kelly here. Look and see exactly what happened. Cody Reed comes from a long ways back on the straightaway there. Maybe kind of caught Ryan off guard, or unsure of entirely what happened between the drivers, but Ryan Kelly is a good distance in front of the 25 in front of him. Got Cody Reed to the right side. He leaves him some room, then just some contact on the exit there. That brings us back to a battle. This is going to be for the 7th place position, the 8th place position, excuse me. Jared Thomas currently leading over Cody Reed. Ryan Kelly a little bit back on this map, about a second back behind the 7th turn points here as they come into tonight's race. Cody Reed was able to hang on to that 25. Winner of one of the heats out in Echo Park Speedway. Rear Ford Toyota Supra. Other battles happening out on track right now. You got Justin Campbell, Scott Rickard, and Josh Kanata racing down the straightaway here. This battle led by Justin Campbell. Trying to be led by Justin Campbell. Scott's directly in front of him. Josh Kanata keeping a clean nose out here tonight. 0 incidents for driver number 16. 2 incidents for driver. Again, driver's going to be serving a drive-through penalty if they accrue 15 incidents or more in tonight's event. We're a little bit before halfway in tonight's race. Justin Campbell going to take a look down the left side as Josh maybe had an opportunity there for a moment to take a position from Justin Campbell. Not going to happen just yet. Going to try to set himself up on the exit of number 6. Looks like Josh is going to slot back into his running position. Started 13th out here tonight into turn number 10. Currently 13. As he's going to complete his 20th lap of racing out here tonight. Up front is still Brandon Gass, Isaac Shelley in second. Brandon's actually opened up the race lead by a little bit over a second here. 1.3 seconds. That's the difference between the race leader and second place Isaac Shelley as they run right now. Christopher Norris had an incident with the 98 a couple of laps ago. He is still running in 5th, about 6.5 seconds back. The issue that Christopher Norris is going to have is that he's running about the same lap times as the race leaders here, so he's running faster lap times than the drivers in front of him, Thomas Green, Arie Fonseca. So I feel pretty confident in saying that 38 will be able to get to the 3 and the 24 in the coming laps, but going to be a lot to overcome for the 38 to close 6.5 seconds. He's running that time by. He was within a 10th of the race leader, Brandon Gass. Look down into turns 9 and 10 here. Ryan Bird being chased by Chris Stitz. Chris Stitz trying to close that gap on the 49, up 2 positions from his qualifying position. Started 8th out here tonight. Arie Fonseca maybe having an issue. But Chris Stitz trying to close the gap on 6th place running car as they run right now. He's got the points leader, Jared Talmadge, directly behind them. Cody Reed not too far off in the distance. About half second off of this back here. You can see Cody Reed, Brian Kelly trying to make this 3-car battle a 5-car battle by the time they get to the next couple of laps. But if he's able to do so, Ryan Kelly is still able to hang on to that position. Chris Stitz going to run a little bit wide. That's going to open up the floor for Jared Talmadge. Starting to see some drivers maybe making their way onto pit road for the first time. Got Mark Labertone on an active pit road. Unsure if that's for a penalty or if that is for scheduled service. Lap number 20 out here. As we approach the halfway point in the race in the next handful of laps, got to remember these drivers also racing for a bonus point for the Apex 50 halfway bonus point. Leader of lap number 25. Get that. Be the difference between making the playoffs and sitting on the side lines through the playoffs. Thomas Green takes a big look down onto the inside of the 24 in turn number 1, not able to do anything with it just yet. They now got Christopher Norris right up in their rear view mirror. That 38 got a little bit of damage on the right rear quarter panel there. 38 trying to make some hay and make some waves back up to the front of the field. After that damage, after leading the race, 38 is going to set the 3 in sights as we down to the back stretch here. See Thomas Green takes a look down onto the right side of the 24. Able to make the pass. Now the issue for Christopher Norris here is if these drivers start to get racing side by side, it's going to be very difficult for the 38 to advance over the next lap or two. 38 trying to take advantages. Now that difference in between Brandon Gass, the race leader, and 5th place Christopher Norris, about 8.8 seconds, so losing time here to the race leader, Brandon Gass, in 2nd place Isaac Shelley. Thomas Green runs 3rd as we come along, and we're following along with 4th place Arie Fonseca right now. Drivers get ready to complete another lap of racing here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Norris doing everything that he possibly can to get around these vehicles in front of him, but they are all forward position. We'll follow that battle closely along as Arie Fonseca has not gone, or Thomas Green has not really stepped away from the 24. The 24 Fonseca still staying with 3rd place running car Thomas Green. These drivers getting into that little marbles, that little gravel that's picked up onto the track. Drivers again a little stare through that. Arie Fonseca is going to take a look down onto the left side of the 3-2 through turns 5, 6, and 7. Going to slot back in directly behind that rear bumper of the 3. Not able to make the pass just yet, but in a good spot here. Thomas Green's going to get a good run on the exit. Thomas Green gets sideways in turn number 9, and that's going to drop 2 spots down for the 3, who is now coming down onto pit road, and we saw this in practice. Long way down before you find the timing line here, so one of the first leaders to pit is the number 3 from 3rd place. Whether that was scheduled or unintentional, the world may never know, but Thomas Green coming down to his box. For service for the first time out here tonight. I'm keeping an eye on the pit road time. Let's see if there's tires down there. Okay, it does look like it's going to be a 4-tire stop for Thomas Green. 14.5 seconds in the box. 4 tires for Thomas Green. Drop him down to 17th place by the time he exits pit road. All right, so back up front here is we have 2 laps to go before we see the halfway portion of tonight's race. Brandon Gass still the race leader. Over 2nd place, Isaac Shelley. And now that gap has really opened up. You can see the difference there in between him and the 98. 3.5 seconds almost between himself and the 98. This is the biggest gap between the leaders that we have seen all night long. Most times the battle for the race lead has been within 1 second. Not the case anymore. Isaac Shelley 3.5 seconds back, and time Isaac Shelley going to come down onto pit road. Got to be careful here not to get a speeding penalty. Got to be careful not to get an off track on your way into pit road. Christopher Norris also going to come onto pit road. Jarrett Talmadge also going to come onto pit road. I was trying to close this gap. Cody Reed also going to come onto pit road here. You see a bunch of drivers getting onto pit road for the first time. Thomas Green last time by. Thomas Green, the first driver to come onto pit road for service a lap or 2 ago. Came down, got 4 tires last time. He was 138.9, which is pretty consistent with what 2nd place and 3rd place are running right now. The race leader a little bit faster than that, Brandon Gass. 137. So we'll see if any of these tires start to take an effect out here. And this could also put us in a position where drivers may have to save a little in the closing, in the second half of tonight's race. They're pitting with 26 laps to go in a 50-lap race. Gotta wonder if they had anything left in that tank, or if they came down a lap early to try to close that 3-second gap to Brandon Gass. As they run right now, Brandon Gass has a 10-second lead over second place Arie Fonseca through this round of green flag pit stops. Ryan Berg has made his way up into third. We still wait on Ryan to come down onto pit road, but the race leader onto pit road this time, and we'll see who enters the call. If Arie Fonseca, Ryan Berg, Chris Stitz, or others come down onto pit road. This time, 45 miles an hour. That's the speed limit the driver's going to have to adhere to. Arie Fonseca also comes down onto pit road. Looks like Ryan Berg going to stay out on track. He's going to take a lap lead here. Ryan Berg looking for that bonus point. If he leads this lap, he's going to get the Apex 50 halfway bonus sponsor. It'll be interesting to see, though, if Ryan Kelly elects to stay out one additional lap in order to get that ever important bonus point. Looks like 4 tires, mostly up and down pit road. Don't really see anybody going with 2 tires or fuel out here this evening. Alright, so following the race leader around right now, bonus point on the line to the leader of this lap. Will the 49 come in this time? Or will they out? Additional time. Get that bonus point. I guess he could still get the bonus point. He has a 4-second gap between him and second place Ryan Kelly. About 12 seconds, 13 seconds really back to place here. We're going to find out together here as he's going to go down into turns 9 and 10, and he's going to see an opportunity to pit for the first time. And Ryan Bird, going to come down onto pit road. So is Ryan Kelly, who's going to lead this lap for the bonus point. That help us there? No, it doesn't. All right, so Ryan Bird going to lead that lap and get an important bonus point in tonight's event. He does so on pit road. That's going to be the Apex 50. It's going to be the Apex 50 halfway bonus sponsor, and that's sponsored by Sam Garcia, who is on pit road for an extended service right now. He's been in the box for about 50 seconds and climbing. But Apex 50, it's our halfway bonus sponsor. If you're looking for a fun and relatable streaming content, SG_racing as you cover it. Check out Sam's Garcia's Apex 50 on YouTube, TikTok, the Instagram, and the Twitch. Follow along, get subscribed, get notified every single time he posts additional content. But Sam Garcia currently runs back in 24th place out here tonight, having a night that he would probably like to forget here in the Superstar Digital Austrian Grand Prix. Got some damage on that back in the 50 here. Rough night for the 50 so far, but do appreciate his support on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network and the Trinity Racing League, sponsoring halfway award every single race this season. Through that round of green flag pit stops, Isaac Shelley did take the race lead over second place Brandon Gass. A little surprising there. Brandon Gass had about a 3.5 second lead over Isaac Shelley. He was able to flip that through the round of green flag pit stops. Isaac came down one lap earlier. But don't really know if that was if maybe there was an issue on pit road. Pit lane time, start to finish, cone to cone, for these two drivers. Isaac Shelley was about 2 seconds faster than Brandon, but Brandon's starting to close back in here on the 98 Cooper here. Turn 4 and turns 5, 6, and 7. little bit under a second difference between the race leaders here. We've seen Brandon Gaskins strong all night out here tonight. Started on the pole position, lost a couple of positions early in going on the opening lap, fell down to about the 5th place running position. Slowly and methodically made his way back up into contention for the race lead. We're ultimately taking the race lead, stretching it out to about 4 seconds at the maximum. Through the round of green flag pit stops, Isaac Shelley able to jump the 29, and now the 29 back on the hunt here. Race lead as he is now about 3/4 of a second behind here as they run this season. A little bit past halfway through tonight's race, as I tell you what, we are a little bit past halfway. Round of green flag pit stops is completed. We're going to step away for about a minute or two. We're going to follow the action here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network, and we'll be back at Green Flag Racing. All right, back just in time. We were following the battle for the race lead through the commercials out here this evening. Isaac Shelley, that lead that he had, it has been evaporated. Now down to under 4/10 of a second. Brandon Gass has been all to the back of the 29. Stepped away just so. But that 29 has been fast all night tonight. Win, lose, or draw for for Brandon Gass out here tonight. A great run for that 29. He needed it. He came into tonight's race. Let's see, where is Brandon? Yeah, 21st in points. We were talking about it a little bit before. One top 5, one top 10 on the season. Making his 3rd start out here tonight in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. And it might just be everything his first victory of the season. He is all over the back of the 98 here. Going to take a look down onto the left side through the technical section of 5, 6, and 7. Going to get the preferred line to the 98, but set himself up for a good opportunity to run down the long straightaway into turn number 10 over the elevation change. Over the hill, we see them come. Brandon Gass on the right side, Isaac Shelley on driver left. Down into turn number 9, the 29 able to make the pass, but Isaac Shelley throws it down into turn number 10. Says, you ain't going to step away just like that. Great battles for race lead. So far, you can see these two drivers have stepped away from third place by about 7 seconds. That yellow car, Jared Talmadge, that's third place. Christopher Norris has only been able to make his way back up into fourth place, still about 3 seconds back off of the race leaders, as we see under 20 laps of racing to go out here tonight from Red Bull Ring. Great racing. Sometimes road courses have a tendency to get a little bit spread out, but that really has not been the case. We've seen Brandon separate himself from second place at one point throughout the race by about 4 seconds, but I've seen road course races where it gets a lot more spread out than that. By all accounts, a great race out here tonight. We're starting to approach the closing laps of tonight's event. The thing, though, that we had mentioned throughout the round of green flag pit stops, and it's going to be interesting to follow along. Isaac Shelley, Jarrett Talmadge, Christopher Norris, second, third, fourth place. They all pit on lap number 20. I realized that maybe they were coming down trying to get an extra lap on tires over Brandon. But part of me wonders if they came down because they did at the halfway point where Brandon Gass came down on lap number 25. A couple of drivers did come down on lap number 26, but you got to go back to 8th, 9th place for a pair of Ryans, Ryan Bird, Ryan Kelly. Very fine drivers that made it past the halfway point tonight's race before coming down for. Brandon Gass has a little bit of an issue getting off that corner right there. That's going to allow Isaac Shelley to get really close to him. Try to poke a nose on the left side, maybe set himself up for a crossover into 5, 6, and 7. 98 still staying with them within half a car length. 29 has not been able to extend that lead like we've seen him extend it before just yet. See if Brandon's able to extend this back up to about the 4-second lead we saw earlier. If I'm Isaac Shelley, I'm also thinking about that. I'm also thinking about staying with him here, not overdriving, not making the mistakes. We saw Isaac Shelley get into the back of the 38 earlier in tonight's race underneath one of the braking zones. Can't have those kind of mistakes. Shelley's still sticking with the race leader that time by. Last time by, almost identical lap times within 1,000 of a second of each other. So these drivers certainly on the move. One driver that's on the move as well, though he's got a long way to go to get there, is Jared Talmadge back in third place. He's about 6 seconds back off of the race leader. But that time by, he was about a second faster than these two drivers directly in front of him. He came down on lap number 24. He's got clean track in front of him, so that may be helping his cause there. But something to keep an eye on, that 27, faster than the two leaders that time by. While this battle for the race lead starts to settle out just a little bit, we're going to try to. We'll get another update on the 38 of Christopher Norris. Had an incident about 15 laps ago. Has made his way back up into the fourth place running position. He's got to look for about 2.5 seconds before he finds the opportunity for a podium out here tonight. He's got Jared Talmadge not too far off in the distance, but enough to be an uphill battle between here and the closing laps. Still got some damage on that right rear of the 38. Elected not to get it fixed on pit stops. And gotta say, I probably agree with that. Don't imagine that right rear damage is causing too much issues for him. Biggest movers of tonight's race so far, we got Cedric Hunter back here in the 13th place running position. Haven't really said Cedric's name out here a whole lot tonight. Started 20th, up 7 positions from his qualifying effort. Currently runs 13. We got Thomas Walter, who had an issue earlier in tonight's race, currently runs 19, despite that issue. As the race sponsor of tonight's event. Drivers that have moved the wrong way out here tonight. Thomas Green started 3rd out here tonight, currently runs in 10th place running position. Hard to hang your hat over, hard to hang your head over a 10th place running spot when it's accompanied with 7 positions down starting the lineup. Perhaps an opportunity missed out here tonight for Thomas Green. How he's on the final 15 laps of tonight's race. Sam Garcia down 7 positions from his starting spot as he currently is 6th, a couple of laps down. Battle for the race lead has separated just a little bit here. It's now just under a second here. So this sounds like a good opportunity to give out a shout out to our title sponsor, Larry Arts Productions, keeping us here on the Trinity Racing League and the Cyberlund Broadcast Network all season long. It's our title sponsor, Larry Arts Productions. It's a comedy variety YouTube channel, content ranging from stop motion videos, vlogs, live streams, and more. Check out all the insanity that Larry puts up on YouTube today. Head on over to his channel at Larry Arts Production on today. And again, appreciate the sponsors keeping us on the air, bringing you all the action on a Monday night from the Trinity Racing League. Got some great sponsors, bring drivers in their second season racing. Up front, it is all Brandon Gass, who has now extended that lead even just a little bit more than what it was last time we spoke about it. It is now 9/10 of a second as it closes in on a second gap between himself and second place Isaac Shelley. Jared Talmadge, that run towards the front has kind of fizzled out here. Last time by, he ran a little bit slower than the race leader. So perhaps these two leaders battling for position is what offset that speed difference. But Jared Talmadge still having a great run out here tonight. 3rd place comes in here to tonight's race as the points leader, and kind of one of those tracks that you can come away with a 3rd place finish. That would be pretty drivers, at least for me. Got some battles starting to heat up towards the back of the field just a little bit. 9th place, Ryan Kelly starting to put some pressure on. 9th of Ryan Bird. 13 starting to close in back. That 49. 2 Camaros racing. They're going to come through 9 and 10. 13 has been strong all season long. We've seen the 13 be up front. Ryan Kelly. He's been a contender in almost every single race. Had a couple of unfortunate incidents early in the season. But always a name that we have been following here in the Trinity Racing League is the 13 of Ryan Kelly. Ryan Bird's also been pretty fast this season as well. He comes in to tonight's event 6th in the points with 2 top 10s and 3 starts out here tonight. 4 laps led for tonight's Australian Grand Prix. Brandon Gass has opened up the race lead now to about a 1.2 second gap over second place as we continue to follow along here. This little battle maybe starting to fizzle out between the 13 and the 49, but the battle lead up front. Brandon Gass just lost a bunch of time. He may have just overshot a coup. He just cut his lead about in half. Isaac Shelley now within striking distance of the race leader Brandon Gass, the pole sitter out here tonight, the Blazing Fest. Trying to go flag to flag. But Isaac Shelley was fastest in practice. Lots of questions to be answered over the closing laps in tonight's race. Keeping a close eye on this battle for the race lead, but we're going to jump back just a tiny bit here. Battle for the race lead heats up. We're going to go right back to it, but Justin Campbell putting the heat on the number 3 of Thomas Green. Trying to take a position away in the closing laps. This would be for a 10th place running position. Campbell trying to close in on that number 3, both of these drivers vying for one spot at the end of the event. Take a look at the last lap times on the timing tower here. Brandon Gass with a 1:37.347. Whole bunch of gravel on the track back here. Oh my gosh. I don't think we've seen that much gravel on the track just yet, but you can see it all on the right side of the right there. It's just the left side tires in the gravel and contribute gravel on the track counter. The last lap time by for the 29, a 1:37.2. Last lap time by for second place, Isaac Shelley, a 1:37.6. 3.5 tenths difference between Gass and Shelley up front, which that lead has now extended now to about 1 second. A dozen laps remaining out here tonight at the Red Bull Ring. Still on board with Justin Campbell, following one of the closer battles out on track right now. Take a big look down into turn number 4, try to set himself up for an opportunity to make a move in 5, 6, and 7. Doesn't look like he's going to have the opportunity to do just that just yet. Lap. That becomes a possibility, but having a good run out here tonight nonetheless. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us on YouTube tonight. Got a bunch of people following out here. Let me know who you're rooting for. Let me know who you want to see do well in tonight's race as this race starts to come to a close. We're here every single Monday night, myself and Arie Heinzman, bringing you all the action from the Trinity Racing League. If you're enjoying tonight's race, make sure you like the video, get subscribed, get notified every single time we go live, bringing racing action all week long here. Multiple of racing. Cody Reed starting to put some pressure on the 24 of Ali Fonseca. Got Chris Stitz directly behind him. Ryan Bird in this battle as well. Ryan Kelly not too far behind here, but a 4-car battle so far. This is going to be for the 5th place running position. Ali Fonseca leads this pack. Christopher Norris, he's made his way back up to the 5th place running. Cody Reed's trying to take a look on the right side of the 24. This would be for a top 5 position if he's able to make this pass. Ollie's got to be careful here. If the 25 is able to get through and open up a door, it may not be just 5. There may be additional 9 or the 17. But Ollie's able to hang on to the 5th place running spot for right now is Chris Stitz and Ryan Bird directly behind these two drivers. Start to battle for the 7th place spot, put Ryan Bird up 1 spot to 7th. He's got Chris Stitz now in here. Ryan Kelly has joined this conversation, and this 4-car battle has turned a 5-car battle. up front is we're going to see 10 laps of racing to go next time by. Good run out here tonight for Chris that started 4th on the grid. Currently runs 8th, so down a couple of positions from his qualifying effort, but good run for the winner of the season opener at Atlanta Speedway, as it's called now. Newly reconfigured Atlanta years ago. Got the first point-paying win of the season. 17. Ryan to put a notch. Another top 10 running spot out here tonight. Arie Fonseca still under pressure from Cody Reed. Down into turn. Cody's going to get a little loose on the exit of 4, and that's going to allow a little bit of separation, a little bit of daylight. To 5. 2.5 seconds. That is the gap between the race leader Brandon Gass and Isaac Shelley. We're keeping a close eye on it. If anything changes up there, we're going to go right to it. But for right now, following other close battles out on the track right now. But 2.5 seconds, that's the difference between leader Brandon Gass and second place Isaac Shelley. Jarrett Talmadge has started to close in that gap a little bit. It was about 6.5 seconds at the absolute maximum there. About 10 laps to go now, down to about 5 minutes. I think that's going to be filed under the category of too little too late for the 27 out here tonight, but still running times faster than the race leader for the 27 of Talmadge. But see these shots coming into the corners here. Arie Fonseca continues to lead this little 5-car breakaway. For 5th place, 6th place belongs to Cody Reed, Ryan Berg in 7th, Chris Stitz in 8th, Ryan Kelly in 9. Got to go back a little bit of a ways before you find the 10th place running position. That belongs to Thomas right now. Brian Kelly's going to take a look to the right side of the 17 in the corner there and be able to make the pass to put Ryan Kelly up 1 spot to position number 8. Cody Reed hasn't been able to do anything with the 24 just yet. That 5-car battle has remained unchanged, largely with the exception of the 13 and 17. Other drivers having battles out on track right now. Cedric Hunter has improved his running position. One of the last times we spoke about that number 7, he was about 19, if I remember correctly. Currently runs in 13 through the kind of green light pit stops here. An opportunity picked up for the 7 to have run out here. Isaac Shelley still chasing down the race leader, about 4.5 seconds back off of the race leader, Brandon Gass. Let's see, 7 laps to go next time they cross the start-finish line. Race number 4. This would give us 4 races, 4 different winners, if either Brandon Gass or Isaac Shelley is able to take the checkered flag out here this evening. The first driver that would be a repeat winner is the 3rd place runner of Jarrett Talmadge. Winner 2 weeks ago at Kansas Speedway. And he's starting to close in. I wonder if the 98... I've got theories. We're going to test the theory here. Oh. Okay. Isaac Shelley was one of the drivers that came down onto pit road on lap number 24 before the halfway point in the race. When we went on board with him a moment ago, he seemed to be clutching. Perhaps just letting the 27th, as it doesn't appear that he's clutching any more than 98, but interesting fuel strategy starting to happen in the closing laps of tonight's race. Taking a look back here, big battles, got a big group of cars. I think Arie would call this a kerfuffle, as her favorite word on the broadcast. She's going to be back with me next Monday night from Michigan International Speedway for 100 laps of racing from Junkie Racing. Thomas Green has closed the gap in on the 13 of Ryan Kelly just a little bit. Ali Fonseca has slid back to the 7th position. He's gotten passed by Cody Reed and Ryan Bird. Now Justin Campbell joins this conversation. Chris Stitz on the back half of the camera frame. Also joining in, issues for Ryan Kelly, going to get some tires in the grass and a couple of positions through that set for the 13. He'll have a little bit of time to try and go and make that up. But that's allowed Cody Reed and Ryan Bird to open up about a 2-second gap, maybe a little bit more seconds, between themselves and 7th place Ali Fonseca as they run right now. Good runs out here tonight, these drivers. Let's go on board here with, let's go on board. See if we hear any sort of fuel saving on the 49. I thought we heard it on the 98 already. Definitely no fuel saving here, as he's going to put a nose to the right side of the 25 on the exit of corner number 4. Going to have the preferred position down here into the right-hander, into 5, 6, and 7. Able to make the pass. The rotors glow on Toyota Supra of Cody Reed. Put Ryan Bird up to a top 5 running position. Now Jared Talmadge, last time by, was about a half-second faster than the race leader Brandon Gass. So 4.6 seconds back and 5.5 laps to go. Somebody else do the math. I'm bad at math. We'll see if he has enough time to get there in the closing laps. But the 57th points leader, winner 2 weeks ago, starting to close in on the race leader Brandon Gass, who's led the most laps out here this evening. But this race is not over by a long stretch. So we have a high 5 over the speedway. Up front, taking a look back at the race leader, Brandon Gass still rolling this race by about 5 seconds. Last time by for Brandon Gass, about 4/10 slower, half-tenth slower for the 4:29. Gonna have to be something he needs to manage. I don't think he has to worry about it too much. But any sort of lap traffic in front of the 29, that he does have one vehicle in front of him, just a little bit of a ways. Gotta hope he catches him in a good spot. But Brandon Gass out here tonight, having a great run. At the start of the race, lost a bunch of positions. We were certain that maybe he wasn't going to be able to maintain front row starting spot out here tonight, but not the case so far. Difference between first and second place right there, you see it. Now under 4.7 seconds as Talmadge continues to close And we'll compare the laps on lap number 46 here. That time by Brandon Gass just a little bit faster. Issues for Stephen Clapp. Let's take a look and see what happens to Stephen here. Driver the number 9 out here tonight. Haven't spoken about him all too much. Let's see what happens to 9. Does he just get wide and go for a daisy spin? He does, and 10 out of 10. Don't think any contact with the inside wall. Back up to the race lead, Brandon Gass, Jarrett Talmadge as they run right now. Gap has closed, but it started to stabilize on lap number 46. 4.5 seconds, that's the difference between the front runners here. You've got to go back 9 seconds before you find Isaac Shelley. Run the majority of tonight's race in, third place. Christopher Norris, after having an issue while leading, is now 15 seconds back in fourth. Ryan Bird rounds out the top 5 as they run right now. 17 cars on the lead lap, with the last one being Clint Cox. Battle's starting to heat up out on track. You got Ollie Fonseca, Thomas Green. These drivers starting to get at it here in the closing laps of tonight's races. We have just 3 laps to go. This is going to be for a battle for the 7th place running position. Ollie currently in 7th. Thomas trying to overtake Justin Campbell, not too far behind this group. They get to racing side by side. That's going to be bad. Justin Campbell to get up into this battle. Other battles directly in front of us here. Got Cody Reed and Ryan Bird. I feel like these two drivers have been going at it all night long. They're going to enter down into turn number 4 side by side. Advantage to the 49 of Bird on exit there by about a car length by the time they get back up to and here. Big battles happening in the closing laps of tonight's race. Reed's going to take a look down to the right side of the 49, going to try the crossover. Turn 5, not going to happen just yet. He's going to get a good run down this backstretch here. Into turn number 6, where he's going to take a look to the outside, maybe take a look to the inside. Where is the 25 going to go? The lead interval has shrunk down to 3.8 seconds. I still don't think this is panic. This is not panic territory for Brandon Gass, but Jarrett Talmadge certainly getting closer in the closing laps. This time by, going to see the white flag out over the speedway. Brandon Gass coming down into turn number 4. 3.6 second lead. Last time by 0.6 of a second faster for Jarrett Talmadge. So Brandon's got some room to work here. Just need a couple more laps in Red Bull Ring North Star Digital Austrian Grand Prix here tonight from the Trinity Racing League. He will find the checkered flag at the end of the night if he is able to keep it between the green on the track. But good night for the 29, started second out here tonight. That lead is slowly closing here. Now down to 3.3 seconds. You can see the 27 of Jarrett Talmadge coming over the hill by the time the camera shot. But Brandon Gass going to see the white flag here from Red Bull Ring one more time around the Australian Grand Prix for driver number 29, looking to pick up his first win of the season and give us 4 winners 4 different races. Races of season 2. Jared Talmadge now within 2.7 seconds of Brandon Gass here. Don't hear any fuel saving here. There is a lap vehicle directly in front of the 29. This could be an issue. Oh, big moment there. He had to get out of the gas big time for, is that the 53? It looks like it's the 53. Big moment there. That allowed the 29, that allowed the 27 to close in about 0.3 of a second, but not going to be enough just yet, as there's still 2.4 seconds back. Jared Talmadge quickly closing in, now within 2.4 seconds of the race lead. Looks like clear track, clear sailing in front of the 29 here in the final corners of tonight's event. One more time through the technical section of turns 5, 6, and 7 for driver number 29. Jared is just so good through there. He closed about 0.2 of a second through that section alone, but probably not going to be enough out here, as we're going to see turn 9 and turn number 10. One more set of corners for the 29. Brandon Gass going to get a win here in the Trinity Racing League. Checkered flag falls over tonight's event. Winner, number 29, Brandon Gass. Second place belongs to Jared Talmadge. Third place, Isaac Shelley. Other battles happening out here while the checkered flag is out. These drivers racing for position in the closing lap of tonight's event. Justin Campbell and Arie Fonseca trying to take position away from each other. Arie Fonseca trying his best to hang on to an 8th place running position. Issues for Cody Reed on pit road, serving a penalty as the checkered flag flies. I'm not sure how iRacing's going to how iRacing's going to read that, if they're going to call that penalty served or not. We'll wait for timing and scoring to come around, but the remainder of the field completes their final lap in the North Star Digital Austrian Grand Prix. Brandon Gass, the winner out here tonight. We're going to grab the top 3 finishers from tonight's event. We're going to get back with them here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network for some post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
All right, caught up with third place finisher out here tonight, Christopher Norris. Christopher, you led some laps in the opening portion of tonight's event. A series of unfortunate events put you back behind the 8 ball, but you were able to drive back up to third.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate night there. I mean, honestly, I like to say early in the races, I'm probably one of the best at gaining spots, and I proved that tonight. I went from, I believe it was, I mean, of course, Richter helped after turn 1, but started off 9th, ended up leaving turn 1 in P3 after that battle there. Yeah, I put myself in position to win it. I put myself out in the lead, got the clean air. I made a mistake in turn 2, which inevitably led Shelly to get back up to me, which I think he just locked it up. I mean, that kind of stuff happens on a corner where you're racing for the lead, pressure's on. Just lock it up and accidentally jump the lead. I mean, that kind of stuff happens. You don't want it to happen, but it does. But I do appreciate him for giving me the spot at the end of the race, finish P3. 1 point does help, so I did lose the points to get the 0s, but I did have 2 at that moment. I do apologize to Thomas Green there, though. When I backed up it on track, I mean, I have really never raced this track by my 2nd time, maybe 3rd time. I didn't realize I wasn't paying attention. I was just seeing red at the moment, so I cut that corner tight in the turn 2, ended up cutting him off, giving him some damage and racing tight from there. But yeah, I'm sorry to that move to him. But yeah, it's an unfortunate night, but things happen. I'll take a P3, just have to move forward.
Yeah, podium finish is hard to hang your head over. But I think the bigger picture here, Christopher, is that you come into tonight 16th in points. Tonight you made your 3rd start, so you're missing a start on the field. But coming here, top 16 drivers going to make the playoffs. Once we see the playoffs, the end of April, beginning of May here. How you feeling about your chances at Michigan next week, the upcoming races?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about this league is that the talent is super strong. A lot of these guys I've been racing since I joined these similar leads back in 2021. And I don't win much in these kind of leads. I'm very fortunate to have a good success in All-American Racing Series so far. So I'm kind of hoping some of that confidence is going to come to over here. I haven't won yet in Trinity, but I didn't race much in season 1. Just got really busy with life. But in the league before this, I started picking up in my prime and got, I think, 3 wins in a season. So I'm kind of hoping I can come back and get a win here. Michigan, I don't want to say I have it circled, but I have it circled a little bit just because of my success just a couple of weeks ago in All-American Racing Series. So I'm kind of hoping we can just have some good green flag runs. I can do the same thing, but I know with the amount of talent in this league, it's going to be difficult to try to get out there, lead some laps. So I think the playoff chances are strong, especially sitting 16th right now with that P3 finish. There's some other tracks are circled. I mean, shoot, we have, I think, Sonoma before the playoffs and the chase starts. So hoping to hit up Sonoma, some good talent. I mean, shoot, that's another track I just won over in All-American I guess 2 months ago now. So hopefully we can get some good finishes, maybe even a win this season, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, Sonoma is on deck in a couple of weeks, 62 laps out west, and Michigan, one of those tracks that can go sideways very quick out there. Well, we'll see how you do next week at Michigan, Christopher. Well, you come home with the podium finish out here tonight. We're going to open up the floor. Any hays and highs, as usual, on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network.
For sure. Thank you to you guys. Put on the show. Sad to see Arie isn't here tonight. She's always great at broadcasting with you as well, so miss her tonight. Also the admins, Kanata and Nick, put on a great show, allowing us to race every week. Also my teammates, Kanata as well. Cedric, who came out tonight. They're pretty sure they have some good finishes, some good battles at the lead. Sad to miss Ben Kinney, Sam Dyer, and them. My parents, who I still haven't sent a lead to, they probably stopped asking because I stopped getting to give it to them, so I need to do that soon enough. See norrisphoto.com. You need a photographer for any events, motorsports, sports, anywhere within the tri-state PA, MD, VA region, or shoot, I can travel if you pay me. I'd be glad to help out. And also, just a last shout out to Isaac Shelley there for giving me the spot back, and apologies to Thomas.
Gotcha. All right, Christopher. Well, congratulations on a 3rd place finish out here tonight. Make sure your parents are subscribed to our channel. It helps us a lot. Congratulations once again, Chris.
Thank you. For sure, I'll let him know.
All right, kicking Chris out of here, let him go debrief. That's going to bring us to our 2nd place finisher out here tonight. 2nd place finisher going to be Jarrett Talmadge. Winner 2 weeks ago in the Trinity Racing League, comes up 1 spot short in tonight's race. Jarrett, how you doing?
Uh, I don't know. You asked me lap one, not great. Now I'm pretty happy with how it transpired.
Yeah, you were able to, you started up front out here tonight, had some incidents in the opening laps, but you were able to drive back up to second. And I tell you what, in the closing laps there between you and Brandon, you cut that down from about 6 seconds to maybe the final gap was 1.85 seconds is what I'm reading here. How much were you pushing it, or how'd you close that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I wasn't really pushing it too hard. I had some off tracks to use, so it's kind of extending the entry of some of the turns to get better runs. But I don't know. Just it sucks. You know, starting from pole to get dive bombed 3 wide by your teammate in turn 1 and spun isn't fun. But to come back to get second, honestly, after that, I thought maybe 10th was the goal at that point. So to come back to finish second, I mean, I'm definitely more than happy with that after that. And only 2 seconds off the win, like you said, is pretty damn good if you ask me.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with that statement here. You come into tonight's race as the points leader prior to tonight's race. 2 top 5s in 3 races. Now it's going to be 3 top 5s in 4 races. How you feeling about your chances at the upcoming races? And, I mean, I guess we can start talking about playoffs in a couple of weeks, can't we?
I mean, yeah, we're not too far out, are we? Yeah, I don't know where we go next week. I want to say Michigan,
yeah,
which is my home track, so I hope I can get a win there. It's never been too good with me in league racing, so I'm sure that won't go too ecstatically well. But, I mean, other than Atlanta, the season's gone pretty well. Like you said, points leader and top 5s everywhere but there. So, I mean, hopefully we can just continue the run of momentum and just get into the playoffs and hopefully go win a championship down the line.
All right, Jarrett. Well, you closed a bunch of time in the closing laps, needed another lap or 2 possibly to contend for the race win out here tonight, but you're coming home in second. Anybody you want to say hello to back home watching you come home?
Give a shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Everybody who runs the league. Shout out to my teammates. And the Freak Bob car has got another podium once again. It will continue its reign on the podium.
All right, Jarrett, congratulations on another good run out here tonight. We'll see how the points shake out once they are up, but good run. Congratulations. That's going to bring us to our race winner out here tonight. Brandon Gass gives us 4 races, 4 different winners in Season 2 of the Trinity Racing League. How you doing, Brandon?
Awesome, man. How about you?
Doing all right. I tell you what, you started out front, you stayed out front, lost a little bit of time in the opening laps, but started to close that back as the race went along. You seem to be really good on the long runs. That seems to be strong out here tonight.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I seem to be pretty good on the long runs. I just want to say I put in a lot of practice this week for this, and I want to shout out my teammates, Nolan, Noah. We put in like the work this week for this. I knew this was a track where I could do really good and have a chance to do really good. That opening lap, I wasn't sure what happened with Jared. I still haven't saw it. He said he got dove by his teammate or something. So I had to slow down right there because I went off to avoid it. And so coming up to 3 on the first lap, that's why I slowed down on the straightaways, because I had to give that time back. I waited till the straightaway and got taken 3 wide and dropped back to 4th. And then I was just kind of minding my own business. I was really focusing on just being really consistent, not making any mistakes. And then what happened with Alex and Christopher up there in turn 2, I just kind of got gifted the lead. Like I didn't really pass anybody on the track. So once I got gifted the lead, I just was really focusing on not making any mistakes, just not choking really.
Yeah, you kept it between the green on both ends of the track and on the asphalt out here tonight. You get the win out here tonight, but next week we go to a very different style of racing at Michigan. We got a couple of road courses coming up that we expect to see back out front at the road course. We got Sonoma and I want to say Watkins Glen coming up.
Sure. Yeah, I'm really excited for the road courses. I'm mostly an oval guy, but I've really tried to work harder at the road courses and get a lot better at them. And it's worked. Like this past year, I've gotten a lot better. So I'm hoping to keep that going at Sonoma and Watkins. Michigan, not one of my better tricks. We'll see what I can do there next week.
All right, Brandon, you're getting the win out here tonight. First on the season, we go 4 for 4, 4 races, 4 different winners. We'll see if we go 5 for 5 next week. Congratulations once again on the win. Hey, Brandon.
Thank you. And thank you guys for all the broadcasts and stuff.
Appreciate the kind words. Arie unable to join me here tonight, but the race winner, Brandon Gass, in car number 29 out here this evening. We're going to take a look at the final race results from Red Bull Ring down in Austria. I've got a flight to catch. It's like a 19-hour flight back home from. Taking a look at the race results out here. Brandon Gass going to come home with the win over Jarrett Talmadge, Christopher Norris, the top three that we just spoke to. Isaac Shelley and Ryan Bird round out the top five here in the Red Bull Ring. Thomas Green, good enough for sixth out here tonight. Ali Fonseca loses a couple of closing laps. Finishes seventh with Justin Campbell directly behind him. Chris Stitz and Ryan Kelly round out the top 10. Cedric Hunter comes home in 11th place out here tonight with Scott Rickard rounding out the top dozen. 13th belongs to Noah Steele out here this evening with Joshua Kanata with the top 15 finishing 14th. 15th belongs to Nolan Hicks with Cody Reed directly behind him. Cody had a post-race, I'm going to assume it's a post-race penalty. He had a drive-through on the final lap. I think iRacing penalized him the end of the longest line. Clint Cox finishes 17th out here tonight. Aaron Kralik in 18th with Dakota Moniz, our poll sponsor out here, finishes 19th. Thomas Walter finishes 20th in tonight's event from Austria at the Red Bull Ring. 21st belongs to Josh Stovall with 22nd going lap. 23rd place is Mark Labertones in 32. Chris Stamper finishes 24th out here tonight. The top 25 is rounded out by Mike Miller. Sam Garcia, 20 laps down, has a night he would like to forget. Finishes 26th out here tonight in 58. Camry Graham Walker in the 18 finishes 27th. And rounding out our field of 29 drivers, Josh Sawyer and Nick Renner brings us home. The checkered flag out here tonight. Next week, we're going to be at Michigan International Speedway. Arie will be back with me for some super speedway racing at Michigan. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, make sure you like the stream, get notified every single time we go live here every single Monday night, calling all the action and the calls from the Trinity Racing League. We'll see you next week from Michigan. Have a wonderful week. Take care.